What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here at the Nerd Castle today playing Battle Worlds Kronos, our second episode, actually. We're still playing through the first mission. As you'll recall, there was some crazy things going on. A ship had been bombed, it had crashed here. These are the remaining survivors, and now we're fighting our way out of a very, very sticky situation, a candy-coated situation, but not like the good candy-coated, like the candy-coated after you, take a candy coating and somebody else licks it. That's the kind of sticky we're talking about. It's not the candy coating that you would prefer. These guys that we just dropped off, we had come over here for kind of a pincer action to make sure that we had assaulted both beaches. And what we're going to do here is continue unloading. So let's unload everybody. And I keep clicking the wrong mouse click. I'm playing too many strategy games right now, and every game uses the left and right clicks for different stuff. And so if you're playing multiple strategy games at the same time, your fingers spend a lot of time being incredibly confused. There's a joke there about being... There's a joke in there somewhere about fingers being confused at some point in my life. But I think that's going to be a little bit, just a tiny bit outside the PG-13 rating that we try to maintain. I'm sure you can come up with it on your own. So I'll just leave that to your own devices. That's how I prefer to roll anyways. I think our turn is pretty much resolved at this point. I would love to pull this tank out. Definitely gonna need to do like a pull-outy with him or something. He's got to get to this equipment over here and keep himself nice and repaired, although his buddy's pretty beat up too. They both took a pretty good fist to the eye. They got fisted pretty hard before they made it out of there, so... okay, so now they're gonna turn around, and that means we've actually got a challenge in front of us. Ew. That backfired on me completely. And I hadn't thought about it going that way, but apparently it has gone that way now, and there's nothing we can do about it. Either way, our pincer was bound to have a casualty here or there. I'm not gonna get super upset about it. Oh, he returned fire. What a lovely, lovely fellow. How nice of him. And since they've blocked that way off with rubble, unfortunately, I'm gonna fire rockets at that infantry, hopefully. At least hurt him a tad. Anybody else leveled up? He's leveled up. That's gonna put me in range of that machine gun. Now, it doesn't get attacks of opportunity or anything, so technically I suppose I could just kind of sprint. I just moved my tank up there, didn't I? Sometimes I just feel ridiculously duncy. Just all kinds of noobity happening. Trying to figure out if I have any other units that can get within range quick enough. But I don't think that I do. So, alas, we may actually lose 2 units right here. This next burst is probably fixed up to be fairly nasty. Maybe sacrifice the bike. We do get to keep our units in between levels, so if you notice me being like insanely careful with my units, it's because you get to keep them. So anything that like levels up, you're going to want to keep that for later because you can start the next mission with the leveled up units, which gives you a distinct advantage over people that are running with just vanilla units with no experience. Those novices, I suppose. Let's move up the artillery. Carefully, I'll add, because we're probably going to need them in later missions. I am scared for this tank right now. I shouldn't have moved him up. That was me not paying attention. It's okay, though. It's a tutorial mission, right? It'll be okay. Tell me it'll be okay. Rub my back. That was my plan to begin with, because the bikes don't tend to have a lot of use, so I don't really mind if the bike gets killed. Not gonna break my heart at all. There's a lot of damage being dealt here, and that machine gun right there needs to go. Let me get up and into position. Yeah, from there he'll have a firing line on the machine gun turret. Believe me, they hurt like crazy. They do like 40 damage. You don't want to be anywhere near that thing if you can help it. Pull the bike back so that we can repair him. Let's get reinforcements up and in. A bit more damage done. I don't want to give him a double attack if I can help it. So I think the tank's going to come up in here. Give him a little 1-2 punch, but now he's leveled up, which is also nasty. What's that thing's firing range? 3? Sehr gut. We should be fine. Okay. And so now that he's been done away with, I think I should like to do some damage there. He's now leveled up. Has anybody else done that? I think both these guys did, actually. I'm going to give them, they can do surface-to-air missiles, which are an interesting choice, but we haven't fought anything in the air yet. I'm going to give him improved armor, and then he is going to run away like hell because there's no attacks of opportunity. And so if I can get him the hell out of combat, we can actually repair him and keep him in the fight later on. Deploy both of those right here just so we can deal with any advancements that happen. Let me see who's still got movements left. It looks like our hunter right here still has a movement. And so we're going to allow him to void it all over the place. I mean, that's my favorite part of the day, when I've still got a movement left. And down it goes. And now we're left with just this bike, who is feeling horribly alone at this point. He's not, no friends left. We killed them all. We done killed him. He's going to fire with his little piston cannon. It just goes squeak. Just a little weak gun. It's okay, though. We don't all get the big guns. We don't all get the big guns. There's no need to feel all Freudian about it. Pull him back, take a rocket shot. And that's not quite it for him, but we can't take a shot from there. I do want to level up my artillery, strangely enough, because it feels like they're going to be very, very useful later on for clearing. If they get fond of using bridges like these, it's just something we're going to have to be aware of. It is going to be something that we just have to absolutely remedy. I feel like I probably should have deployed him a little bit better. Alas. Let me use this time to perhaps think about dragging some of this infantry up and over, because we're going to need to capture some buildings fairly shortly. I realize I do have transports, but I think the amount of time it's going to take me to go back and forth either direction probably going to be about equal either way. Now that he's repaired, I would actually prefer that my bandit get repaired before the bike get repaired. So I'm going to let the bike go and grab this repair kit that's way the hell on out here in the boonies. And that'll help him get patched up a tad. Everybody else is looking pretty good right now. I'd prefer not to lose any more units, as I said, because I'd like to keep my upgrades accessible. We're going to end the turn here. And I do appreciate that the game has short turns. I recently started playing Rome 2, and the turns are just like, wow, that is a long, long turn. Or if you've ever played like Silent Storm, that is another game that has really, really long enemy turns. Now, granted, both those games have like more stuff going on, and I'm sure the turns will get a little bit longer as we play through. But for now, leave me to my bitching. And I think I'm going to have him go in and finish the job there, because he's got to level up next. There it is. So with 5 damage, he's got himself another level up. I'm going to give him improved armor. That may be the first upgrade I put on all of these. I prefer to keep them from getting blasted to smithereens. I'm going to have him jump on one of these repair kits. Anybody else that's at least marginally wounded, I'd love for them to jump on a repair kit too. I don't know what that is. What does this do? Nothing? Okay, well I thought maybe it looked like ammunition or maybe like a cache of some kind. I figured it might like increase your attack for like 1 turn or something, like a power-up Nintendo style. But I guess not. I do wish that you could move all your units at once. Since they can move through each other, I don't think that leaves you any problems with cheating. Where I've seen people like, in certain strategy games, you can go through, and if you click fast enough, they'll actually like move past each other even though they shouldn't be able to. And that's what I'm talking about when I say that. Let me repair this bike a little bit further. Then we'll send him back to whence he came. For we do not want ye to shall remain. I don't know. I'm trying to do something fun. I'm trying to quote Tenacious D, but it's just not working for me. Sometimes the rhyme just doesn't come together properly. Did I ever bust open? I did. Okay. I wanted to make sure that I busted open the console thing that was down in the south, and I couldn't remember. There's always time passed in between recording these. End our turn really quickly. And actually, this is pretty much just going to be slow paced because I'm trying to get all of these guys up and in here to capture this stuff that we want. We want them to just penetrate these buildings like crazy and bring them over to our side. Alright, so let's grab this headquarters first. We've now taken this building, which has nothing inside of it. I think this does something else, though. Yeah, if you leave your units in here, I'm fairly positive it repairs them over time. I haven't fiddled around with it that much. In fact, let's just leave a vehicle in there and we'll kind of see what happens. He's missing 1 pip. And so hopefully he comes back absolutely pipless, or with full pips. Either he comes back pipless of damage or fully pipped with health. There we go. You've got to cover all your boundaries when you talk about pipitude. Let's bring all our other vehicles in here. I'd like for my tank to get healed because once again he's probably going to be leading... Yeah, I see enemies right there, so he's probably going to lead the charge across there as well. Let's load up the remainder of our healed units into our transports. Actually, no, not you. Well, too late now. It already happened. Oh, that's interesting. It kind of chained it. Alright. Well, I didn't need you to go anywhere anyways this turn. I don't know where I'm going to drop them off if I put them in here. It looks like I'm limited... Actually, no, I can't do anything. Okay, well then I'm just going to unload these. So let me take a moment here and actually just dump all these guys out of... I did it again. Damn it. There we go. The reason I'm unloading all of these is that you see these bluffs right here? You can only load these ships on beaches. It's just like Command & Conquer Red Alert. If you don't have a beach, guess what? You're not unloading your craft. So you just kind of got to get used to that. Looks like we got ourselves another infantry. I could have moved him over to here and captured that. Well, damn. My inefficiencies are staring me in the face, baldly. There's another one right there. And let's finally capture that. I don't necessarily know what this building is going to do for us. Headquarters are the command central of all military forces and represent their lines of retreat. Losing this building often leads to immediate defeat. Well... I don't think that our enemy have been defeated. In fact, they seem quite footed at the moment. In fact, they have a great footing right over here, so their feet have not been deed. Let's move this over to here, which sounds like some kind of weird thing that might happen in some fetish porn or something, but I digress before we get too far down that rabbit trail. Let's maybe think about who we want to heal. I definitely want this unit to get healed, so let's use his jack to get him over there. And everybody else, it's flagging this as a thing, and I don't know what that is. You'll see there it's got a red ring around it, which means it does something. Is it an explosive, maybe? Can I attack it? Can I click it? Ah, an ammo chest. Okay, there we go. It refills your ammo by 5 shots. You'll see over here on all of our units there's a little bullet. Some of them have infinite ammo, and if they have infinite ammo, it just doesn't show up. But like for our artillery, they can only have like 8 shells at a time, I think. I'm not positive on that number, so I definitely wouldn't use it to write any papers. I am like the Wikipedia of information about this game right now. It may or may not be true. You may find the word penis hidden somewhere in the entire thing. You just never know. I was looking at a Wikipedia for something the other day, and somebody had edited it where it was like a serious article about anthropology, and it was like, the capuchin monkey penis likes to go and gather and forage from fruits and nuts. And I was just like, nobody caught that one, I guess. I don't want to move across the bridge just yet until my other tank is in position, so let's bring him on up. Once again, I want to lead with my strongest foot forward. I do want to have artillery ready to go across each bridge because I vaguely remember there being like a big battle up and in here. So we'll end that really quickly. Put the tank right there. We'll put the bandit there, and that's the order that I'd like to maintain for now. Just see if I can't get everybody just kind of mounded around all of these entrances. I left somebody back here, didn't I? Yep, I left my scout bike back. It's okay though, because he's fast as hell, so he's able to actually close those distances way quicker than anything else we have. Making it not so much of a crime that he's not really where he needs to be. He can kind of dally. He can run around. It looks like there's some white units up here. There we are. Want this to be basically a full Normandy all the way across this bridge if we can pull it off. Don't really know how that's going to go, but we'll try it out. Bypass the turn. And here it is. Let's go. We're going to go forward by 2, I suppose. Captain Hamill, sir. There's the landing ship. Our people are under siege. We got to save them. Time to kick some corporate ass. Aye, sir. The soldier's face shows grim determination. A battle in the open. Now there's something he's familiar with. Okay, so actually we've got a huge army right now. We're looking pretty sexy on the how much army we have front. That ship looks rather busted. It's in dire need of a medic, from what I can tell. A ship medic. I suppose I'll start forming a front line here. Now we really need to keep this artillery safe. If I'm going to deploy it this close to the front, they could make a run on us go around. And that would actually leave all of my artillery absolutely worthless. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to block this off so that they can't. Although, he's already used up his movement. I'd prefer for these vehicles to take the majority of the damage since they're not ours. Well, they are kind of ours, but let's move across this bridge. The left one, I think we've got a little bit of leeway to just kind of flood across as quickly as we can. This bridge right here provides kind of an interesting conflict because we can go in and we'll pincer, but then we'll get pincered too. So I kind of want to take it slow on this bridge. The other one, however, we can just go straight raw dog on that one and just not have to worry about it. Okay, so everybody's about where I want them to be for the time being. Let's start planning out our shots to kill some folks. I think my first round of fire should more than likely be situated on these vehicles right here because they've actually got a bit of ranged fire. They can fire past the line of scrimmage, which makes them kind of threatening to me. Unfortunately, we're not going to have the option there, but we'll take a round. There's a bit more done. We'll take another shot. Oh, he already used his attack option. Okay. Already done that. Already been done. Well, then that leaves... Who's still got moves left? These guys here. This attack is going to count as a flank for us. It should do a little bit more damage. And then with his rocket, he should finish the job. And that leaves us in a very, very strong position. In fact, they took a lot of damage right there. The tanks, I forgot to mention, the tanks have an ability called Squish, which means they can drive over all of this refuse. Just so you know about that if you weren't aware. I'm going to wait till next turn to flood across this bridge. Just so you know why I'm holding back over there. I don't want to give them the first shot, basically, since the amount of damage you've sustained affects how much you can actually inflict back. You always want to hold the initiative in this game if you can help it. There it is right there. He just squished some of the refuse. Ooh, okay, so that actually opened up a little bit of a problem there. I don't really care about the bikes. I never worry about losing my bikes. Ah, that infantry's going to be brave. He's going to pull... He's going to pull a Tiananmen right there and try and hold it. I don't think I can drive over infantry. It would make me happier if I could, but I don't think I can. Okay, so this tank needs to be dealt with. But we do have some artillery fire to lay out on these guys. And I'd actually I think softening them all up marginally so that they're losing a bit of damage might be the better decision right here. I'm going to pull him back onto that right there. And then he's going to get swapped out by this tank, who is then going to just unleash the pain on him. That rocket probably won't finish the job, but this one will. We also want to consider maybe dealing with this tank pretty shortly. The infantry aren't going to be able to do a whole lot against this tank. They can, you see that tiny bit of damage they'll deal? It's not much, but what they can do is they can act as a damage soak. Meaning that used up his actual retaliatory attack, or his counter-strike. I feel like I should probably deal... with that artillery platform before this gets too hectic. Because that artillery platform's more than likely going to one-shot somebody on the next turn. Especially since they deployed it right outside the range of everything I care about, which is my artillery line. My artillery line's like, oh, I didn't know you cared so much, sir. Yep, I care that much. My artillery line is very dear to me. What do we have left to play with here? I'm going to move him into position there, and we'll kill that unit. The tank, I guess we'll shoot his shot there. Take a little bit of damage back, but I can live with that. Both my infantry haven't moved, and that's kind of a wasted... I mean, at least they're doing something. They're getting closer to leveling up, I guess. And maybe blocking off right there, kind of giving them something else to shoot at. Acting as a bullet backstop, a ballistic backstop for the remainder of my troops, a professional bullet stopper, as Sergeant Tan would put it. Okay, well, we survived the artillery shot, which is about the best you can hope for sometimes. I'm really worried I'm going to lose that vehicle. I may have him fall back to there in the next turn. Do a little bit of cyclic action. Alrighty. We'll move the Cerberus to there. He'll use up his counter blow. He will then get flanked and spanked like the tank that he is. The dirty, dirty tank that he is. And then we'll take a rocket shot right there. I'm willing to bet I can keep this unit from getting killed and keep him in the combat and get him healed. There it is right there. Let's go through. Actually, I'm willing to bet a bunch of people leveled up during this fight that I haven't like allocated any of their stuff. For the tank, I think I'm actually going to go with improved firepower. We have the choice to increase his movement, but I like the firepower option a little better. Go with that for now. Oh, he's leveled up twice. God. Let's go with improved armor for his first upgrade. And for his second upgrade, I think I'm going to go with surface to air just in case we need that later on. As a double whammy, if you're actually in dire straits and your unit is very, very wounded, you can choose to heal them at the cost of their level up too. Although that's a little bit of a cop-out, in my opinion. It's kind of a bad decision either way. But I guess if you're desperate enough and if they're enough of a veteran, like they've got like 3 or 4 level ups under their belt, I could see diving into bed with that situation if I absolutely had to. Let's get some of these bandits in on the fight. So there's our first round of rockets. Can they hit anything? No. Unfortunate. There's a lack of fortuitousness going on right now. Well, I mean, we're winning, so we'll take a rocket round at him since I moved him too close to the artillery to do anything intelligent. Over here, let's open up with a dock on him, just because I love that sound effect. Also, I have this weird dream that someday I'll have a Gundam-style bodysuit that I could just roll around in. They'll be like, "Sir, your sandwich isn't ready at Subway," and I'll be like, "What?" And I'll just like light the place up. They'll make me happy. I'm just kidding, Subway employees, but I love your sandwiches, seriously. Let's maybe think, I really don't want to eat another hit from this artillery platform. I'm not going to take the chance, and I'm just going to get him out of range. What else do we have here? Oh, we got all kinds of stuff in the back lines. Somebody's got to have something left. Okay, good. So he's got... With the way that I'm arranged, though, I've left myself a little bit hosed. Well, I guess we'll double rocket there. It appears as though he leveled up at some point too, so let's give him surface to air, just in case. I don't know when planes are going to come into this game, but when they do start coming into the game, I'd prefer that we have some kind of protection against them. Captain Hamill up here, sweaty and covered in dirt, but looking quite content. That's it, sir. We've saved him. Then his features darken. He's got bad, often disturbing news. The survivors gave an account of an explosion aboard. Most units and nearly all the gear have been damaged. Has the damage to the landing ship been analyzed? I don't want to give currency to a rumor, but the hull looks like something exploded inside the ship. The scale of the explosion also rules out missile fire. The captain seems uneasy. He doesn't know how far he can trust you, but the evidence is too obvious and he blurts it out. If you ask me, we're dealing with a bomb in the cargo shuttle, which would be a breach of this war's rules. Who could have placed the bomb? Glad about your positive reaction to his outrageous assumption, he continues. Dozens of suspects would come to mind, basically each of the opposing houses. We tell it are hotly tipped in this war. Our honorable emperor took care of that during his regency. There are a lot of old scores to settle, and you have to consider that we've been trying to keep the emperor alive for 200 years with the help of life-prolonging measures. The latest technology will allow the next emperor to virtually live and rule forever and not lie in bed for 150 years connected to plastic tubes. Every child of Rhea knows the images of the glorious emperor presented to the public year after year on his birthday, surrounded by doctors and attached to life-sustaining machines. For the last few decades, he could only communicate with the outside world through his lords. Rumors stating that the Telet lords were already ruling without the emperor for a long time were crushed with an iron hand. Gather your stuff. Let's get the hell out of here. Aye, aye, sir. And there it is. And apparently that's what we look like. We've got like both a monocle, sideburns, and completely heavy metal hair. So essentially we look like the lead guitarist of like every band ever. We look like an older Alexi Laiho right there. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but that's how I say it. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the second episode, the continuing mission accomplished of what we had started in the first episode. I hope to see you guys next time. This will be an ongoing playthrough. Take care out there, everybody, and farewell.